considered the defense's counsel request for a further submission. I've considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I've determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman. We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, must each of you now to state clearly and concisely before the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. She's left behind everything, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. There was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed. Might be considered. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the crime when the window was closed, can it? Dear me. It was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If you don't bring home some pay, I'm in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, if we had a fire at a home a while ago, it gave me a sense. How does some of those statements even qualify for being grounds on finding the client guilty? That makes no sense. One notable exception, of course. Wait, what did he say before? Come to think of yes. Considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury around this time, it seems. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find a fault in the previous witness's testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Technically, yes, there was. There technically was 2 other people there. Your 2 witnesses. They were both there. We know that for a factoid. So this statement right here, that's not correct. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way. Yeah, it seems it's essential for you to establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Give us a simple name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was thinking if this would be hard. Mr. Harlow, you have to do it. Otherwise, this will really be where the trial ends. No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel. Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Marinosuke. Focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, or should I say, Mrs. Garrideb. We have a book that disappeared from the Garrideb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Garrideb and how she reacts, even to things other people say. Oh, we could point her out while we're doing this.
Hold it!
As we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? Even if possible is that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, the landlord fellow was home with it. Enjoying a fiery scarf with his wife or something. That's not exactly how to act put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his life were somewhere else when it happened. I think that's what you call a strong alibi. So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the difference in this film. Honestly, I can't see what all of this palaver is about. It's a done deal, isn't it? There was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed. Like, hold it! So, you might be willing to change your decision, maybe. Oh my, such a delight on your face, but I must not be swayed by my emotion. Despite what you may think, me, I am a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman. That's great. No one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking. What did you say? You got a blank spec? And not at all extreme. As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong puzzles. So despite 1 or 2 minor puzzles, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic. What did you say? Overwhelmingly. Well, as photographs are always enlightened to embrace new facts. Exciting new series. So our very best not to disappoint the modern metropolitan young lady. Right. Glad that you omitted the rational there. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime. The window was closed. Hold it! What about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. There is a way. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold. So no, the window wasn't open. A slender is like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically say that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. That's what's the point of even having windows, huh? Counsel, what kind of reference for the child is prickly? Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show this undeniable possibility of myself. This young man isn't going to budge, huh? Hold it! This little book was on fire at the time, was it not? Was flames of love, I'll have you know. There is no such thing as a loving, incendiary bomb. He brought it up upon himself. Its flame was fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Yeah, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly bad, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Scared. Never mind, Dean. Never mind that. Point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute. Nothing more. Have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime? Right, well, see about that. want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here. Well, him and me both did then. Like I said, told you already. Day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home the breadies with me at night, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. You heard me. I'm the one to mess about. No? She can be fierce, believe you. Believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss. A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, did you know? It's funny. I can't quite remember. Sorry. It's too frightening. That's the thing. Must have locked it out. Helpful. I wonder if Mrs. Beatty will ever be dragged into things by the scarf. Don't even go there, Mrs. Guess I can't present stuff.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defense culpability in this case? Sorry? What? You'll have to speak up. Tell us more about that fire. Last night, my grandfather baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top it did. What a sight to behold it was. The candles on a cake? What, was this some kind of devil worship? Of course not. It's an angel cake. To celebrate my birthday, obviously. Okay, so this is how we're gonna, like maybe the fire was caused by the candles, tied directly to what happened with Gary Debs. Boom, shaka, laka. Anyway, must have all puffed to blow them out. Was all wrong Louis' house. Flames didn't go out. Candles were flying all over the room. Furniture caught and everything went out. The whole place was full of smoke. Definitely sounds like a devil worship to me. And by the scene, I presume you mean a cold. How did you catch a cold from the fire? What a fiasco was. Grant told him last summer. They threw water over me and tried to put out the flames. Then, this whole room had filled up with smoke, of course. We had to open all the windows to clear it. Open the windows in the winter. Ba-da! Windows. By the air brushed over me like a devil dancing on my grave. Caught a terrible cold from me. Put me in a hospital for a while. Won't forget that first thing in a hurry. Something about this old man's story is playing on my mind. She could have. Once again, the juror's statements are full of personal prejudice. Lies need to convince the right even in the face of logical don't necessarily need to find contradictions. Connections might do the trick. Yeah, connect the old man to the young lad. I think it was juror number 3 that said was looking for explanation as to why the window. Okay, so the logic here is that we get the old man to, like, winter house fires are dire. You have to open the windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets, you see. So this gives an explanation as to why windows would be open in the winter. There's so much smoke in the house you can't breathe. So you gotta open the windows even in the winter to let the smoke out.
Objection!
These two juror statements are clearly contradict one another. How exactly comes? Don't point at me again. I told you, it wasn't me. Huh? What was that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6 account on his birthday celebration last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, you'd be mad not to open it. And he just like, wait a minute. Ah! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in Garadev's household. Mr. Garadev had the following to say about it. The whole place was filled with smoke.
Oh my! Excuse me!
Got her! Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Garadev. Oh dear me! What is the meaning of it? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. Situations like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. Music's gone. And what if we did? Oh, alright then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window. I can't have it easy, since I continue to get a justly deserved book battery. You know your house is on fire? Oh, you never stop throwing it until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Of course. Should have realized. Has a significance in store and report, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish the window was open. Just have to add that to Mr. Garadev's formal statement. Okay. So I think now I can hit him against Mrs. Garadev because she's now confirming the window.
Objection!
Dang it!
Hold it!
She could have been hit by the burning bug plants, but where'd the knife come from though? That's the thing. Where's the knife?
Hold it!
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. The title of the book is Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garadev told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw? On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband a copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. Now you come to mention it. Yes. These residents enjoyed reading it. You're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you innocent little man. I didn't remember. Like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on as well as you know.
Oh boy.
Wait, why would... What? Why would this...
Excuse me.
Wait. What is it? Juror number 5. You know something? I've remembered what it was. The memory I blocked out. Was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought back flooding back. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett, or the maid, I'll have you know. Man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's used to being hit all the time. It's about 2 weeks ago now. Just got back home after work. Put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard half of it, boy. Wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I couldn't hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost a day's wages. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear, stuck onto the wall next to me. It did. Bad me steep. No worries, no words, just terror. I could smell it then, you know? The god-awful stench of insanity. Sure is gonna end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that is a real disaster, isn't it? Never use that word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When a woman loses her rag, they'll throw anything at me. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered. No. I was thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack was honored, using a bow or like. What? Attack? Who are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant. Alright, come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I did. I think I pressed him on this. The point when the victim was attacked on Briar Road. You know, there was a small house fire in the Garrett's house on the opposite side of the street. Ah, yes. Well, it certainly seems that way. And on account of smoke, I imagine they would have had the windows open. It's rather cold. We also know that Mrs. Garrett was throwing flaming books at her husband. Her husband, who was backed into a corner by the window due to his wife's frenzied attack. Yes, that's right. So there's definitely a chance one of the books could have flown past the man and out the window. Only what? Only I can't really see how it would have gone to the other side of the road. I see how it can take my decision. Oh. wife really threw a knife at you? It's all memories, isn't it? Started with a smile. Since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown alongside our relationship. A cup, then a glass, then a pot, kettle, chair, wardrobe, cooker, basket. Wait, she's throwing bathtub at it. Oh gosh. Your wife must be even beefier than you. Things came ahead last week when she threw me right into the sink. Still, it's not so bad when she calmed down. Little sweetheart. So happy. You know, well, I think this whole idea of ladies first that so obsessed with this. We sought up some lads who tossed into the same too many times better. That's a very interesting theory. It just sounds like really extreme activity. It's like my extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I've been able to use against the jurors. Except transportation. Wait. 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 Wait, wait, wait. A woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. Lance, do you see what I'm thinking here? Do you see what I'm thinking here, Lance? Don't tell me. Don't tell me that's it. Wait. Okay. Now I think I can pin it against her. Because the kitchen knife really brought that home to me. What if Mrs. Garrett threw a knife out the window and it hit her?
Objection!
Let's go! Yo, what the heck? Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief. You must... You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2. Do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. We haven't established who the knife belongs to. We haven't established anything about this knife. Like, this knife has not been used for anything. Like, I've looked all around this knife. It looks like the tip's broken, really. But that thing will just close the knife. Oh! I can inspect. Shit. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. Right. Well spotted, Mrs. Sato. Could have happened to him. Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you? Dear, I hope not. It sounds terribly painful. Like, there's no indication of who this knife belongs to. But if this knife was chucked from the Garradebs and it got outside, it could have hit the victim. What was her name again? Olivia. Olive Green. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated the fourth book, Lion's Pride, was found at the scene of the crime. crime. It originated in Mr. Garrett's room under the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way out from the Garrett's household to the streets below. Eh? What now? After all, Mrs. Garrett could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Is that right? Juror number 4. What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps he's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Mr. Gallup. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. Give us the urine about some other object making its way out of the house. What? What is it? I really think you're taking a big gamble here. This was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certainly that at the very least, this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. I'll try to explain the defenses to you. Other objects that found its way from the Garrett's household to the scene of the crime. It's gotta be the knife. Based on what I'm thinking here, it has to be the knife. Because if the knife was thrown from a distance, like Mr. Sasato was walking by her, the knife hit her and she collapsed, it would make sense as to why nobody else was around because the knife was thrown.
Take that!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garrett. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Oh! Good Lord, Counsel. What on earth are you doing? That's a weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garrett was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, through which the book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that the book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street and landed neatly in her hand? Even my muses hadn't gotten an aim like that. Okay, so he probably didn't catch it or anything. It probably like got thrown, landed across the road. And like after she got hit by the knife and collapsed, she probably grabbed a book to like try to like identify her attacker because she knew there was someone right next to her that dropped them. So she probably thought that book was one of them, so she grabbed it and held on just in case they picked up the books. So it would make sense as to why it was her hand. If it was laying on the ground when she was attacked, she just grabbed that book because it was sitting there. Yes, I admit that there are many details we don't understand. That's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh, why? Mrs. Garrett, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? My lord! I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madame. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman. I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. Let's go! We did it! Huh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto. So, as a result of the census examination, the number of journeys leaders have changed. 2 jurors called guilty and 4 against innocent, calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of the court is divided. This trial will continue. Are we not going to discuss how Scaredeath is currently laying passed out on the floor? Are we just not going to discuss that? Are we just going to ignore the fact she's on the ground? Well then, Lord Physics, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few spits are bitter enough. But what follows is so repugnant, it's a good-for-nothing savory gutter. If I may, the defense has put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible. Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Ford? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiar yourselves better with the relative position of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? This angle this time. It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garret's household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garret's house to the scene of the sum is 15 yards. Let me see, 15 yards. That's around 14 meters. 14 meters? A little farther than I'd imagined. And, as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's blushes. In other words, the smoldering book was wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards, to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned deluded friend? No, that's not what I'm thinking it is. No, I think it's a little bit different than that. And did the jackknife follow any identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. The prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare she? Maybe let's pick our battles. My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead. The prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy. What the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change the meaning. As such, the court has a duty to explore the alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garrett, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Satan's alive! Cross-examination of a juror? Oh, he's back. Order! 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 But this is highly irregular. It's unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned as a witness.
Objection!
And unnecessary. Lord Van Zeeks. There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's spherical theory has any truth in it, then both burning book and jackknife must have flown through the sky before the couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witness? Yes, sir. Constable Raleigh Beatty reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for toasting it, sir. Haven't slept for 4 months on account of villains who's appeared on my beat, sir. Was so heroic? They flooded bodies. Patricia, my darling. I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Raleigh, my hero. You make me swoon. Very well. I hereby reject the defense's request. Bullcrap! Bullcrap, I don't want you. How dare you? Nor the witness who stand to testify again. State with force before the court details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of the events. Yes, sir! I don't like this. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Mr. and Mrs. Garrett, believe me, the line of Bobby is good for his marriage. See, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrett's house are top hinged casement. Okay. Obviously, if anything was thrown out the window, we would have seen it. Let's leave the scene and go fetch help. My trusty Raleigh was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. Didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing traces from the front and center. She said she came back and you were passed out in the snow, buddy. Your wife said you were passed out in the snow and she came back before. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Yes, sorry about that. You must have been a little drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir! Sorry, but... What exactly is the top hinged casement window? And you. You cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course. Sorry. I found it, Mr. Taruhodo. Cast your mind to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room. This window opens to allow air to circulate inside the house. Okay. I'm glad you rectified your ignorance. Casement window is the most prominent feature. It's a stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. Prevents it from opening. This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, book or knife would have been thrown through the open window. Or clattered into the pane and fallen straight down the pavement. You see the problem, then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book holds a knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane has been shattered, something we've discounted already. Can't be! See that, Raleigh? The young director just collapsed in agony. Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how he grumbled before me. Oh, Raleigh, you're so strong. How is this happening? Haven't even started the cross-examination yet. Already my argument's been destroyed. Counsel, you drag yourself upright again. The court awaits your cross-examination. My lord. Good. Another desperate situation.